White Guy Show. I'm Whitey. This is Cracker, and today we're going to review the film Van Helsing, starring Hugh Jackman, and that's it.
Kate Beckinsale's in it too, looking hot.
Okay. There's some titties. Cracker, tell us about the movie Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman.
It's basically The Mummy with Hugh Jackman.
There you go. What did you think about Van Helsing?
I liked it. I liked it better than The Mummy.
Really?
Okay, well, all kidding aside, yeah, I actually did. It's basically an alternate take on the hunter Van Helsing, the guy who hunts Dracula.
Sure.
And they throw in the Frankenstein monster in there and the Wolf Man. I think Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is in there. That's basically all it is. It's just to me, it's just a fun, campy action movie.
Can you think of the director's name?
Stephen Sommers.
Stephen Sommers.
Who directed The Mummy.
Yes.
Which is why it's the same movie.
Same, very, very much in the same vein, updating the old...
the Universal monsters.
Sure. And the thing that I didn't like, one of the things I didn't like about Van Helsing is this came out, around late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. And CG was kind of in its infancy, kind of come along. And it was like, let's put in a scene where this happens, not because it matters to plot or character development or anything else, just because we have the latest in technology. Now we can do this big shot. And I don't care about CG.
You think it was just a waste of CG? Because the CG in the movie, I think, is pretty damn good.
I think, well, it depends. And from Stephen Sommers' standpoint, he's understanding his audience. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's a movie about fucking vampires, and the other one's about a walking, talking mummy.
Right.
So this isn't the History Channel. This isn't Hamlet.
This is turn your brain off for 90
eat your
minutes.
popcorn.
Exactly.
There's the vampire chicks have titties. Mm-hmm. There's explosions, but and that's so I'm not that audience.
No.
So that's where I'm going, CG, I don't care. But when you look at The Mummy, for example, so we're doing both The Mummy and Van Helsing review.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Mummy I thought was fun. Not a great, amazing, but it was fun.
See, the reason why I would put Van Helsing over The Mummy is I think that the characters are more likable, and I think they're more interesting. When I'm watching The Mummy, we have Brendan Fraser, who I can't not think of Encino Man. I can't get past Encino Man. I don't care how much you try to make him an action star. He's always Link the Caveman. Now, Hugh Jackman in Van Helsing has already established himself as an action star as Wolverine. Right. Regardless of what other roles he tries to do, he's always going to be Wolverine. So in Van Helsing, he's basically Wolverine without the claws.
Yeah.
So he's got at least the action reputation. And then you have well-known characters that are drawing you in. Everyone knows who the Frankenstein monster is.
So let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Synopsis. Van Helsing he works for the Vatican?
Yeah, the basic plot is he's working for the Vatican to rid the world of evil, basically. But
monsters and shit.
but he's a criminal on the streets type of thing. And
there's
a bunch of other
underground, people know who he is, but he's not supposed to be known.
Right.
And then he picks up the
he meets
the friar?
He's got the friar. I don't know his name, but it's like he's Batman and Robin type of thing.
Yeah.
And then they go to a Transylvanian village where they meet Kate Beckinsale, and Dracula's there and all this shit. And Van Helsing kills a vampire there, saves the town, and then they give him this whole backstory on Dracula, and basically he hunts down Dracula for the whole movie. And there's a bunch of other subplots which aren't really important at all. Like he was found on the Vatican with, memory loss.
Right, and I think, did he have a tattoo or it was a ring?
Yeah, I think he had a ring on his finger that he was found with.
And this would explain the ring, and it's like, that is such a non-important subplot.
Right.
But, him and spoilers, I think he ends up Dracula calls him Gabriel.
Yeah, he's Gabriel Van Helsing. So I don't know if they explain that he's the brother of Van Helsing. It's not important, like I said. But you say
hardly matters.
Spoilers. You find out that he transforms into a werewolf. I'm speaking of Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Kills Kate Beckinsale on accident. Blah blah blah.
Spoilers.
And then kills Dracula at the end. Everybody's happy.
Right.
Like that's basically it's no plot, lots of explosions, hot chicks, action star Van Helsing. There's a lot of good comic relief, I think, with Van Helsing and the Friar. I think their chemistry is really good.
Who's played by the guy from 300 who injured his eye, so he didn't die with everybody else. The guy who narrates 300 is the Friar. He's a very good actor. I like him a lot.
And then they also have, here's an actor, I believe his name's like Kevin J. O'Connor. He's in all of Stephen Sommers' movies. He plays Benny, the asshole rival to Brendan Fraser in The Mummy, but he plays Igor in Van Helsing, and I think
I thought it was Igor.
No, that's Young Frankenstein.
Oh.
Yeah. Another good movie that maybe we'll review sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think Igor... He's in it maybe 10, 15 minutes. He played the same character as, the same character. He's Dracula's, bitch, do this, do that. But I think he steals the show. He is one of the main reasons I enjoy the movie. I love the alternate look on the Frankenstein monster. There's, his head's exposed and his brain is glowing with electricity. I like the new take on the werewolf transformation. I mean, I know you say you hate CGI, but their idea, instead of the usual just, grow fangs and hair and stuff, he's literally ripping his skin off. And then that's how he transforms into the werewolf.
Yeah, I think
the new ideas, the new twists, I think, are beneficial to it. They make it more fun.
And part of it, though, too, is finding tone, because it's got its campy elements, its silly elements. But it's also supposed to be dark and scary. I didn't think it was scary for 5 seconds.
No.
It's more of an action, shoot 'em up fun.
Yeah.
But going over to The Mummy, I'll do The Mummy. Brendan Frazier is with a French unit for the, how would you call it? The
Legionnaires. He was with the Legionnaires, I think.
Yeah, and they get slaughtered at some site, It's not important. It's not important. The point is, he ends up tangling with the mummy, love interest. But I thought between him and the brother and the sister, like the chemistry, there was back and forth, and it was fun. There's little spontaneous moments where like the wind would pick up and swirl around, all ominous, and Brendan Fraser's sitting there going, "That happens a lot around here." A little funny, and they're poking fun at the cliches of scary movies. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a little bit break the fourth wall.
I don't dislike the Mummy. I'll just say this. I've seen all 3 Mummy movies, including the Scorpion King spinoff. I fell asleep during every single one of those.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a desire to rewatch them. I mean, I have since. But I still don't have as much fun watching those movies as I do with Van Helsing.
Sure. I think for me, and again, it comes down to what do you like. So, for example, at the end of The Mummy, spoilers, the guy playing the mummy gets, I think this is the first one, he gets kind of betrayed by his love and ends up getting sent back to the afterlife or hell or some such. And you felt bad for the guy.
You did.
So, that's a credit to the actor that you felt bad. You felt emotionally for the guy. You were invested. When it came to Dracula, I could give a shit about Dracula.
Right.
So I think that's a big part of it for a guy like me is whoever the guy who plays the mummy
Arnold
in the mummy, Vosloo, is a very good actor. He's done a bunch of other stuff, and I thought him and Brendan Fraser, when they kind of parallel one another in a lot of ways. But I think it was written a little better because you felt for Arnold Vosloo's character because he was genuinely in love with this woman.
Yeah, he did it all for the love.
He did it all for this woman, and he gets betrayed by her, and he suffers a great deal. So you feel bad for him. Whereas that's not really the case.
Right. I will give Arnold, who plays the mummy, credit. Vosloo. He gives a very, very strong performance, and it's all physical. He doesn't speak a word of English. What he does speak is Egyptian or Whatever dialogue it is, I believe it's ancient Egyptian.
Yeah.
And it's all hand movements and the way he looks at the camera. So he's a very, very talented actor.
Yes.
So I will give that credit where credit's due.
Whereas the guy playing Dracula didn't give a bad performance, but just didn't suck me in quite as much. Hugh Jackman, of course, is one of the best. Mm-hmm. Leaps and bounds. Brendan Fraser is actually quite good too. In the right role, I think he's done, like you said, Encino Man, where people might not tend to take him as seriously. I think he's actually quite good.
He can. If you've ever seen School Ties, he's very, very strong in School Ties. And there's another movie he did with Joe Pesci called With Honors, which I highly recommend. Yep.
So he's not, by no stretch of he's not bad.
No.
But Hugh Jackman is leaps and bounds better than Brendan Fraser. So I in this character, I think just a little more care was taken towards plot and towards script. Or maybe it was the actors, but I mean the CG, the effects, the actioniness is all on par. So I think it was more story. The story for Mummy was just a little bit better crafted, a little more went into it, and it paid off. It was an engaging story. Where with Van Helsing, it just felt kind of thrown together a bit. Like I said, we can do this thing where it explodes, and the guy's like, "Okay, do it." Well, it doesn't make any sense in structure here. It doesn't pull you into the characters at all, but it looks cool.
But you were also talking about sympathetic with the Mummy. Well, the Frankenstein monster in Van Helsing is very sympathetic,
and he's a very good actor
because it starts out, at the end of the original Frankenstein movie with the burning windmill, and he's looking out at the crowd of villagers and he's screaming, "Why?" And then it cuts in, you find out that Dracula is using him as a science experiment and blah blah blah, and they do a real good job making that character sympathetic as well. Sure. So it just shows that they're basically the same movie. One is more focused on action, one is more focused on plot structure.
Yeah. So would you recommend Van Helsing?
I highly recommend Van Helsing. I'm not saying don't watch The Mummy. I think people would have more fun watching Van Helsing than The Mummy. You might have a better movie with The Mummy than Van Helsing.
Yeah. Neither of them are... They are what they are. They're cheap popcorn fun. It's fun. Mm-hmm. It's not... There's not a lot of depth. There's not a lot of anything. It's just fun.
Exactly.
I personally would go with The Mummy well before. Van Helsing, it did not... And then there's parts, too, where it's just like, again, it's fiction-y, and you have to accept the fact that there's vampires and werewolves. But there's parts where they're like, they didn't have that technology.
Right.
He's got an arrow shooting thing. It's like a machine gun. And he's like, the guy's like, it's hydraulic powered. It's going to the... And it's like,
but that was them poking fun at like James Bond.
It was cute. Yeah. It was cute, absolutely.
So, it's very self-aware.
Yes.
So
and it's a comedy, and like I said, it's fun. So if you're more into theater and character and structure and pacing and tone and the technical, you'll get by okay on The Mummy. You're going to hate Van Helsing. But these are not the films for you. These are the films from Cracker. They're fun, actiony, shoot 'em up. Eat your popcorn, get it in your beard.
Turn off your brain and just have fun.
Watch the titties.
Yeah, so, Kate Beckinsale in tight leather pants, plus those 3 hot vampire chicks.
While we're here on that matter, what was the one she was in?
She was in Underworld.
Underworld.
Where she was the vampire.
I thought that was pretty good.
Well, I think all 4 of them were good, but that's for another time. Maybe.
Tune in again to the Whitey the White Guy show for the Underworld reviews that are maybe on their way. I'm Whitey, this is Cracker, and remember the Muslims are out to get us all.